What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And you know, we've been on the road, we've been doing stuff crazy, man. Linking up with a bunch of people in Chicago, that was fun. Met up with a bunch of people in Detroit, and you know, about to link up with a bunch of people in Kansas City. Just a lot of stuff going on. But today, you know, everybody's saying like the bills and stuff didn't directly go after CARB or BAR or any of these other state agencies that make these arbitrary rules for smog checks, right? And fuel standards and all of this other stuff. Well, now they've proposed a bill. It is up, and HR 4117. I'll put it up here in a minute when we come back. But it would strip away a state's right to be able to do anything around emission standards, check for emissions, check for smog, all of that, and that's across all 50 states. Let me roll the intro. We'll get back and talk about it, because I've already seen dumbasses trying to put out input on it, and they're just clueless. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. Yes, I've seen it. I got like a ton of messages from you guys about this, right? You know, we just had the big beautiful bill pass, and should go up for a final vote at the Senate. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but most likely tomorrow morning it'll pass. All right, but we're talking about House Resolution 4117, I believe is what it is. I'm going to put it right here. So you can go follow this at congress.gov to follow the process and go read the thing in its entirety. What it will do, though, and I've seen people say, oh, well, it just will make states follow the federal emission standard, you know, so they can still do smog checks. Wrong. That is not the case. The federal government does not mandate smog checks. That is bullshit that is initiated by states. It is a unregulated, unauthorized, and according to this bill, the Department of Transportation and the EPA, an illegal tax on citizens. Now this is where commercial people are going to be pissed. The only people that are supposed to be subject to these smog rules or smog checks are commercial vehicles, not individual vehicles. Now I know what you're going to say. Oh, well, you know, we also don't need driver's licenses, and we don't need to have registration and all this other stuff for our vehicles anyway, because we're just traveling. I'm not getting into the sovereign citizen bullshit. I don't care. We have license plates. We have driver's licenses. We've been doing that for 30 or 40 years, whether that's right or wrong, until somebody pushes that all the way to the Supreme Court and busts somebody's ass for a ticket or an arrest that has been made recently. That ain't changing anytime soon, okay? That said, you owning your vehicle and having a license plate on it and driving it does not make you a commercial vehicle in the eyes of the state of California, right? So you should not be required to go in and get a friggin' smog check. They should not be able to hold back your registration. Now, I've already seen some of the things in California, not from just this bill, but they know they're going to lose. The big beautiful bill is going to pass. They know they're going to lose. And when they know it, because they know they're going to lose there, and they're going to get hit behind that, they're already saying, they already know about this bill, right? They're already saying that they will create a separate system if necessary, because this is how California operates, that would make it a different system than how license plates and driver's licenses are issued now, so that it wouldn't be considered for commercial only. What California doesn't get is you can try to gerrymander and mess with these friggin' laws all you want. The feds are going to consistently come back and slap that shit down, because you're literally just trying to create law to get around federal law, and that's not going to work. Hasn't worked for you on guns. And there's more stuff on Second Amendment stuff coming soon. So if you don't follow my news channel, you might want to do that, because I got a ton of information on that yesterday. But what this bill basically will do is it'll make it where states can't have their own blend of gasoline. This is friggin' ridiculous, all right? There should be a set standard for gasoline and for diesel that the Fed set, and that's it. It would bring down gas prices to like everywhere else in the United States. It will be slightly different depending on demand. If you're in an area where there's more people than less people and there's less gas available, yes, the price would be more, but it wouldn't be $5 and $6 a friggin' gallon in California. You'd be somewhere around like $3.50, $3.70, maybe, okay? And maybe even less than that, you know? And that's the thing. All of these special blends, all this other bullshit, California does not have the authority to legislate and make rules for tailpipe emissions, gasoline blends, none of that shit. According to the legal interpretation that the Trump administration, the DOJ, and Congress has put out. And if this goes through, and now look, it's in the early stages, right? It's been proposed. It's in the finance and energy committees, I believe. We know the CRAs took what? 86 days? 86 days to go through the process. And then another, 9 days before the president signed it. So we're probably looking at around 3 months, right? What is it? July 1st will be tomorrow. So you got July, August, September. So somewhere around, my guess is somewhere around October, I'm guessing. Somewhere around October, maybe going into November or December, they should have a finalized bill that gets to the president and gets signed that will end all of this BS. And it's about time. Let's just be honest, right? It's about time. This stuff needs to come to an end. It doesn't need to continue. It's just like it's an unregulated and an illegal, unauthorized tax on the citizens. Period. End of story. That's exactly what all of this smog crap is, emissions testing. And that's why they're going to these safety inspections, because that is one thing, unless the feds want to change that, that they can't do. But this would amend the Clean Air Act so that no state can do this. That means no smog anyway. And some of these states have common sense and have already changed the rules. I'm talking about New Hampshire. I'm talking about Texas. And I've seen jackasses that are on the internet here talking about, oh, well, there's new bills here and, they still do smog in Texas. No, they do smog in counties that violate Texas law, and they're being sued now by the Attorney General in Texas to go after counties like Harris County and whatnot. Look, I don't want to harp on it. You can post links to shit and act like an expert on this crap all you want. But the bills are and the laws are what they are in plain text. You don't have to like it. You could be pro smog all you want and, try to push negative shit and make people feel like shit, like there's not going to be any change and be negative all the time. Or you can get on the train of, we're going to change shit and things are going to change and things are going to get better in states like California and Pennsylvania and New York and some of these other states that have these arbitrary bullshit taxes on their citizens with these bullshit smog checks. Or you can continue to dick ride Gavin Newsom and Kathy Hochul and the rest of these retards and swing from their balls, rub teabag all off in your face because you want to be a negative Nancy asshole. That's your choice. Be that person. But, I've noticed this already. People be in their comments too and be like, well, you were already proven wrong on this. You were proven wrong on that. And look, big beautiful bill passes. That's a huge step in hammering CARB. And this moving out of committee and going to the floor for a vote and going to the Senate, which also should be able to pass it very easily, is also huge. And I think even there will be a lot of Democrats that are going to jump on this legislation, because we've already seen what the Democrats right now are doing in California, right? They're trying to strip a lot of authority away from CARB now, because they see in polls and everything else that they're going to get murdered in November. They're going to get a Republican governor. They're going to lose a ton of seats in their legislature, and they see it now. That is the only reason that you have, you know, members of the Congress of California, right? It's the only reason why you have members in their House and Senate in California trying to go, yeah, we 100% need to pull this back. This is ridiculous. We can't have $8 gas or $10 gas or $12 gas. The only reason that they care now, is because they're going to lose power. That's it. This has never been about the environment. It's never been about clean air. It's never been about not having smog hanging over the damn cities. It's never been about that. It's only been about money and power. And if they lose either one of those, then they're going to flip the script. And they're about to lose power. And when they don't have the power, guess what happens? They lose the money. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, you can go over to congress.gov and review the bill for yourself. Look, it's going to change some things significantly in the state of California. It would strip their ability to do smog checks by itself. It would also get rid of all the blends in gasoline and everything else. Is it going to happen right away? No. I will update you as this bill is working its way through the Congress. We're not going to be negative assholes over here and trying to speak losses into existence like other YouTube channels that are out here that are like, nothing's going to change. Everything's going to stay the same in California. Anyways, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.